As much as people want to like hate on like him being the old man yelling at the cloud, some of his shit makes sense, man. It makes sense. And I think there's somewhere, okay, he's very old school, right? And then of course, you know, the business has evolved and you have a lot of the newer style of wrestling. If you combine those somewhere in the middle, you got a great product. Unfortunately, it seems like nobody's willing to budge. Am I correct on that, Dev?
Yeah, I mean, sorry for coughing in your ear there. I agree with that. I don't know that the newer style's not willing to budge. I think that it's hard. Everyone, we've had this conversation in training, right? And training the new guys, like everyone just wants to work their ass off, and that's great. That's great that you're hungry and you're young and you want to make a statement. But you lose something with the crowd at that point, right? If you're not working the crowd, working the crowd and working character and getting people invested in you is just as important as getting them invested in the match. Getting them invested in your moves and be like, oh, this guy's sick. I want to pay to watch this guy again. But guess what, dude? If you were out there in a, just an all, those goofy outfits you see at like the NHL games, right? Oh, you're in an all purple outfit and you're wrestling. You're doing the same cool shit. No one's going to care. But you go out there and you have a character, you have an online show or whatever it is. People follow you. You have funny tweets. You have a gimmick that you stick with, and you're worth actually paying for. Guess what? Time's gonna come where you can't do that shit anymore in the ring, or the guy you're working is hurt, or something's going on in the match where you can't do all this crazy stuff. You're hurt, and your character's enough to get you over. So I saw a tweet. I think it was your super kick guy. What's his name?
Craig.
Cozy Superkick at Cozy Superkick.
Yeah, Craig. He posted something. I think it was him. I could be wrong. The other day that was like, oh, name a WWE roster better than the 2008 roster. And I responded and I was like, are we talking about like characters here or work rate or what? Because I couldn't name too many people off the 2008 roster just off the top of my head. And I don't know that they were all, selling out stadiums as much as they would have back in the late 80s, early 90s. So it just depends, man. Like you look at Macho Man. Macho Man had work rate and he had character, right? There's guys like that up and down. Mr. Perfect, work rate and character, right? Shawn Michaels, work rate and character. It's very difficult to find those two, but there's so many guys that can work nowadays. There's so many guys that can just absolutely crush it in the ring. So just work on,
And then you got Hogan WWF. Great character. Fuck you. I don't have to work.
Yeah, man.
You figured it out, man. You figured it out. Hogan is the greatest anomaly in pro wrestling. The biggest face and biggest heel at the same time. Guy comes in, starts gouging eyes, biting foreheads, scratching backs. The crowd is just eating it up, man. It's amazing. It is amazing.
Well, look at Orange Cassidy, dude. I'm not blowing that off, but I'm kind of agreeing with you there, right? Like he's not doing much, scratching backs and gouging eyes. But look at Orange Cassidy, doesn't do shit. And then he finally has one pay-per-view match with Pac and goes bananas, right? And people were, and that's worth it. They were invested in the character that he built a long time. And then when he did this stuff, it meant so much more. So there's an in between there. I don't know if it's more old timers getting involved in training or what. But there's something. And the people that figure it out are going to be millionaires, bajillionaires, billionaires.
Yeah, I agree.
I think WWE is doing it. I think NXT is finding a good middle ground there. You don't think so?
I don't know.
I think they were for a minute. They were hitting their stride pretty well.
So. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what the next crop of guys they release onto the roster and see what happens, man.
I think this is a good time to segue into our contract talk. Well, we are the next group of guys going out there and pending a physical.